Hi, I'm Julie Miltenberger, Senior Food Editor, Family Circle Magazine, and today we'll be making chocolate almond bread, which is perfect for the holidays or really any time you'd like a sweet bread around the house. First, we're going to make the dough, and by that we're going to start with a small saucepan. We've combined 3/4 cup water, a half a stick of butter, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. And you're really just going to heat that until the butter melts, and then you're going to remove it from the heat and take a temperature. You want the temperature to be between 110 and 115, so we're all set to transfer this to a large bowl. And we're going to add 1 envelope of active dry yeast. And that's going to need to sit for about 5 minutes. It's what's called proofing, and you'll see that the yeast is going to get super foamy, and then you'll be ready to go and continue making the dough. We're going to mix in 2 eggs, 4 tablespoons of sugar, and a cup of all-purpose flour. So we just whisk this together until it's smooth, and then we're going to whisk in 1 more cup. And then we're going to stir in 1.5 cups more of all-purpose flour. Now your dough is almost ready to turn it out and start to knead it on the countertop. So we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of the 1/2 cup onto the counter, and then dump our dough. And now we're just going to start to knead the dough. So after you've kneaded for 10 minutes, you're going to transfer it to a lightly sprayed bowl, and you're going to put it in and then just turn it over so that the whole dough gets coated with the spray, so it is a nice, film on there. And then you're going to cover it with a clean dish towel or even plastic wrap, and then let it rise for 1 hour and 15 minutes in a slightly warm place away from drafts. So while our dough is rising, we're going to put together the filling, and that involves 1 tube, which is 7 ounces of almond paste, and we've just crumbled that into a small saucepan. And we're adding 3/4 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and then 1/4 cup of heavy cream. We're just going to heat that on low to medium low until it's smooth. So once most of the chips have melted, you can go ahead and turn it off and then add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And you're going to want this just to cool a little bit so it's not too hot when it hits the cold dough. So now that our dough has risen for 1 hour and 15 minutes, we're going to go ahead and uncover it. And you'll be able to see that it's, risen to almost double in size. So now we're just going to punch down the dough and then let it rest for about 10 minutes. So we're just going to divide this dough in half and roll half out to a 10 by 14 inch rectangle. So now that our filling has cooled a little bit, we're just going to put it right there in the center, and then you're just going to spread it out. All right, so we've got our filling on there, spread out to within 1 inch of the border, and we're going to roll this up. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to start at a long end, and we're just going to roll up to enclose the filling. So then anywhere you have a seam, you're just going to pinch it together. Then you fold the ends under so that the seams kind of line up, so when you transfer this to your baking sheet, everything is underneath. Next, you're just going to take a sharp knife and make slash marks across the top, and you're kind of going to expose that first layer of the chocolate filling. And then you can just see the filling in between each one of these cuts. Next up, you're just going to repeat that same process with the second half of the dough and the second half of the filling. So now that we've assembled both loaves, what we want to do is cover in plastic wrap and let them rise at room temperature for 45 minutes. And then we're going to pop them into a 375-degree oven for 25 minutes. Now that we've baked for 25 minutes, we're going to go ahead and just pull these on out and leave them on the pan and let them cool for about 15 minutes or so before we slice into them. All right, so now we're ready to slice. And cut it just kind of into a diagonal slice, and then you can see the spiral. And I like to just then spread these slices out onto a plate for everybody to enjoy.